This is part 2 on a video on comparing fractions. Okay, so let's recap what we have learned in the previous video. When you are comparing two fractions and deciding which way the symbol should be placed, greater than or less than, you need to know that make sure the denominators are the same, right? We are comparing apples to apples. And the second one is the numerator and the denominator must be multiplied either with the same denominator from the other fraction, okay, and that's how you swap them. Okay, so make sure you multiply the other denominator's numbers so that you can make the denominators common, and that's what I tried to do here. I took the 7 and I multiplied up here, 11 up there. But now let's compare these two. Here my denominator is 2, my denominator is 3. These two are not from the same multiplication table, so definitely I need to swap the multiplications with the denominators. So take the 3 and you're going to multiply numerator and denominator. Remember, by multiplying and dividing with the same number, you haven't changed the original fraction. And you did the same thing. You took this 2 and you have multiplied with this particular fraction, which again, multiplying and dividing did not affect the original fraction, correct? So then what happens? So 3 times negative 5 is negative 15, negative 7 times 2 is negative 14, and both the denominators ended up being 6. So when you're looking at the negative side of the number line from 0 to negative infinity, right? As you keep going towards the left, the value gets by the numbers look bigger, but the value of it is smaller, meaning negative 14 is bigger than negative 15. Okay, so make sure you know that rule when working with negative numbers, especially if you are a primary school student. If you're not familiar with integers yet, integers can be positive numbers, 0 and negative numbers, right? Negative numbers are on the negative side from 0 going to the left. And in the negative numbers, we have to make sure that as the number is smaller with the negative sign, that is actually bigger because it is closer to 0 and closer to positive numbers. So which means that if you have negative million cookies, that means you owe someone negative million cookies versus you owing someone just negative 1 cookie, right? You owe 1 cookie, that's negative 1. So which one is better? So from your end, owing someone 1 cookie is better, right? So that's why million doesn't have much value, as even the number looks bigger. We treat the closer the number is towards 0, that is more higher value. Okay, all right guys, that's how alligator wants to chew this particular fraction. Hope this was helpful. You always try to compare, again, let me summarize this. You're trying to compare apples to apples. So that's why the main goal is to make the common denominator. Have a common denominator, then you can easily compare the fractions and the fractions by looking at the numerator part. Okay, and the technique that we used is we try to multiply the denominators from different fractions with the other fraction, right? And that's how we have made the denominators have same number. Hope this was helpful. And check out the other videos on fractions, guys. Thank you and have a wonderful, blessed time. Bye-bye.